Cyber Monday. But Tuesday is Giving Tuesday. What does that mean? That means it's the day for you to think about other organizations that could really use a helping hand, and your cash can really make a difference in people's lives. Now, last year, I met a group called Cure Rare Disease, and they are fighting to help find a cure for boys suffering from Duchenne muscular dystrophy, among other things. And this story really touched me, and I was able to meet the founder and meet real people suffering from this disease. And I think Cure Rare Disease was founded because people just said, no, we're not going to take no for an answer. We know that there has to be something that can be done to help people suffering from this rare, which you come to learn is maybe not that rare, disease. So the people from Cure Rare Disease came forward to really make a difference in the fight against this disease with customized therapeutics that are happening right here in Connecticut at Yale, amongst other places, in Massachusetts as well. There are families all over the world suffering from Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And today I want to reintroduce you, if you do not know, this little boy who is going to really touch your heart. And then after we see this story, I'm going to have the pleasure of interviewing the founder of Cure Rare Disease, Rich Horgan, who is going to give us an update on everything that is being done, the tremendous strides that have taken place since this story was completed just 1 year ago. And you see, your donations really do make a difference. Let's meet Max and hear about his story.
Over 3.5 years ago, we found out that our youngest, Max, was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Duchenne is a rare, fatal genetic disease. It is a slow death sentence. In fact, we had one of the top specialists that we visited say, you don't have to come back next year. Give us a call when something changes.
Our first reaction was to just accept for the moment that there was nothing we could do because there was no reliable treatment or cure for that matter, and we decided that we were going to live life to the fullest.
There's no pharmaceutical company and no healthcare organization that is going to get rich off of curing a rare disease because they only affect a small population, and there's all of these different mutations.
We are seeing obviously some differences between him and his sisters and other kids his age.
One of the first indicators for this disease is toe walking because their muscles get very tight. He's wearing nighttime braces so that his heel cord is stretched. He gets very lethargic at the end of the day because his muscles are tired. The hardest part is the thought of losing him and having him not have quality of life that we believe he should have. We met Rich Horgan, and that was the beginning of the most hopeful piece to this journey. Rich has taken matters into his own hands. Rich's younger brother has this disease, and so since we met Rich, everything has changed. My entire outlook has changed.
How can you stop a disease? How do you stop death? It's hard. Being a part of a family that's been impacted by this disease, not only with my brother, but also my mother's 3 brothers and her mother's brother before that, it's something that's haunted my family now for generations. Grappling with those feelings of powerlessness and anger really drove me to start this. The ultimate goal of Cure Rare Disease is to change the paradigm of drug development, to enable and establish a process by which even of a single patient of a single disease can get treatment for their disease. The Lec Lab here in New Haven at the Yale School of Medicine is pioneering the development of customized therapeutics. What makes us different is the fact that we're designing a therapeutic based on the individual's DNA. In less than a year, we've developed a tailor-made therapeutic specific to my brother's mutation, based on my brother's genetic profile that cured his cells in a dish, and have formed an organization that's capable of driving this forward into the clinic and dosing Terry.
What's really exciting is that we're not doing a one-size-fits-all therapy. We have been really fortunate to partner with Cure Rare Disease and work on precision medicine tailored to specific therapies for treating patient mutations and treating patient cells.
The collaboration that we formed is really remarkable. It's comprised by people and individuals who have been touched by rare disease at different parts in their life.
My name's Mongolek and I'm an assistant professor of genetics at Yale School of Medicine, and my sister was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy, and then in my early 20s I got a diagnosis that I too had a muscular dystrophy. So it's been my mission to actually understand the disease better and also work on genetic therapies for patients such as myself. We're looking at ways of scaling some of the precision medicine we're doing in terms of going from a genetic disease to genetic therapies that precisely target the mutation in particular patients, and learning from that process a way of scaling that up.
I have a very rare disease and there is no cure right now. So when I met Rich, I saw a passion and a hope and an optimism that I hadn't felt since 2014 when I heard gene therapy was right on the forefront.
We're having success mainly because we have a great team here at Yale and they're very driven and we're very focused on what we want to achieve.
We are basically going directly to the lab. There's no pharmaceutical company. We're working alongside clinical specialists.
We take cells from patients that we've actually met. You know, it drives you to get up early in the morning, it drives you to stay late every night and come in on weekends and work your butt off trying to get a cure for these patients.
The hope that I have for Max is that we're able to dose him before he ever even realizes that he has the disease.
If we can cure Max and cure other boys with Duchenne, we can make this scalable and we can cure other genetic fatal diseases.
I want to give others hope that you don't have to listen to a diagnosis and make it be your end result. You can always look for a path forward that differs from the prognosis you are given.
Will this change the world? I hope so, I really do. For my brother's sake, for Max's sake, for the 10% of America out there that suffers from a rare disease, because there's too many people that are forgotten.
Wow. So that was the story that we did last year. And since then, first of all, we're going to bring Rich Horgan on here because he's going to give us an update on how everybody is doing. Rich, you are joining me live. So nice to see you.
Hi, Pat. Thanks for having me today.
Oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure, Rich. We haven't really. I really need an update because we did the story about a year ago, and so much has happened. I first want to ask you how your brother Terry is doing.
Yeah, thanks for asking. He's doing pretty well. We're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel here for the drug that we're developing for him, and he's excited. COVID was certainly a surprise this year, and has certainly brought its own challenges, to drug development overall, and also for my family and others. But he's in good spirits.
That's so great to hear. And tell us about Max. How is Max doing?
Absolutely. So I actually just spoke to Max's mom the other day. He's doing really well. He's looking forward to the holidays and just all the festivities that come along with it. So we're really happy.
Oh, that's terrific. So, this is a time, obviously, this is a season of giving, and donations really help fuel all the progress that you are able to make. Can you give us, this has been a tremendous year in terms of strides, right? I keep reading about, validation of the FDA, and tell me a little bit about what's going on with Cure Rare Disease, because over the last year, you've had incredible success.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the success we've had over the past year since we filmed that video has been really amazing, and it's really a function of our team. Since last year, kind of as a brief update, we have advanced Max's drug forward. We're starting to look at figuring out how much to give, the dose size. And for my brother's drug, as you alluded to, we met with the FDA and had a great meeting with them. It's what's called a pre-IND meeting, and that's where you get the FDA's feedback on what you've done so far and what you'll do moving into the clinic and ultimately dosing the patient. And we were really fortunate. Our regulatory team is incredibly strong and put forward a great document to the FDA, and we got great feedback. And we were very pleased that there was no significant sort of delays or cost adders as far as the FDA was concerned. We had a pretty robust package going into the meeting, so we are grateful for the feedback. And I think the validation that it gives, not only for my brother's drug under development, but for all the other ones that we're developing, around 10 patients right now, the validation that this framework that we built, this infrastructure, has legs, and that it can do some good.
So you haven't necessarily been affected by COVID. I mean, you're still moving forward despite all of the challenges of COVID.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, COVID slowed some things down here and there, but we've been especially focused on pushing the research forward in the light that we move around experiments to different labs that when COVID first broke out, for instance, we're not open. So we moved an experiment from Yale to Charles River Labs, a great collaborator of ours, because they were commercially exempt from closing. So it's a bit of a juggling act as far as managing the R&D goes in light of COVID. But the R&D has continued on despite the headwinds.
So can you just describe in layperson's terms CRISPR technology, customized therapeutics? What does that really mean for people with rare disease?
Absolutely, it's a great question. So we at Cure Rare Disease are developing customized or tailor-made therapeutics for genetic rare diseases. And so, when you get down to it, a genetic disease is one in which your DNA is altered in a way that it's causing some sort of mutation. ALS, muscular dystrophy, cystic fibrosis. There's a number of genetic diseases. There's over 7,000 of them in the United States that affect about 10% of the US population. So individually they're rare, but in aggregate, they're actually quite common. And it's very likely that you know somebody that's affected or have a friend who's affected. And so what we're trying to do is saying, okay, instead of developing drugs that are one size fits all, if you think of like Lipitor or Humalog for diabetics, we're taking it the other way and saying for these diseases that are super, super rare, the sort of economics don't line up to develop a one size fits all drug. And so if we can go in and develop something tailor-made using CRISPR, which is essentially whiteout for your DNA, it's sort of a pencil that'll correct it, for lack of a better term, then we think that we can do this more effectively for patients who would have otherwise just been forgotten, similar to my brother, similar to Max, similar to others that are involved with our organization. We really see ourselves as being filling in the blanks of where traditional drug development isn't able to treat patients.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's really like taking it in your own hands and saying, we are going to try to do something that is really on the cutting edge of technology that is going to help one person at a time, right?
Yeah, in a sense, what we learn from one person really empowers us to be able to go to the next and the next and the next very quick, much more quickly than otherwise. We're fortunate that we have a good collaborative network involving I think over 7 different organizations, excuse me. And the nice thing is that as one therapeutic advances from Yale to Charles River, that then frees up capacity at Yale so that they can start working on more as sort of it goes down the funnel. Imagine a relay race, right? So as each runner passes the baton, it frees up the previous runner to, run a slightly different race.
So with no pharmaceutical companies involved in this, right? This eliminates what you describe that a little bit. I mean, is it like you're renting space at labs?
Oh yeah, it's a great question. So we don't take a significant amount of funding really at all from pharmaceutical companies, and it's not because we dislike them. It's just because the organization that we've developed, we can really manage this through this collaborative network. And so how it works is we basically sign agreements and contracts with these different providers, whether that's Yale, whether it's Charles River, University of Massachusetts, where we'll host the clinical trial, and then they'll execute the work. And so everybody's talking the same language, everybody's aligned against the same goal. So while each one has their own part of the mission, it all feeds up into the overarching mission, which is to develop and dose a customized therapy. And I absolutely encourage people to go to our website, cureraredisease.org, and to learn more. It's quite a complex process, but we try to make the drug development sort of our approach and the process to it very transparent for people, so that they can understand how it works, because it's a complicated field.
It is complicated, especially for a non-science person. But to ask you, could these customized therapeutics work for other diseases? Someone in the comments asked about anything on NF1, which is a rare disease.
Yeah, that's a great question. So the theoretical answer is yes. We're not actively doing anything with NF1 right now, but the idea that we can sort of take this modular system we've developed, right, this relay race, and switch out the runner at the beginning for a different disease. Maybe it's NF1 down the road, and then use the same process of this rapid individualized drug development process to treat multiple individuals, right? We're trying to figure out, does this framework work from sort of bench to bedside? And then the second question is, can we switch out the disease for a different disease and sort of scale it that way? There's a lot of different ways we can take this, I think, but it's early days.
So how are you feeling about the progress that you've been able to make? How long have you been on this mission? How long has Cure Rare Disease been around? And how much progress have you been able to make during that time?
Sure. Yeah. So Cure Rare Disease is a relatively nascent organization. I founded it when I graduated from business school back in 2018. And so we've been around 2 years more or less, give or take. And of course, it's never enough progress, right? Rare disease patients constantly face this clock that we're collectively up against, and it always needs to be more faster. But I am proud of the work that our team has done. We've taken an idea and advanced it into nearly dosing a patient in 2021. In about 2 or 3 years, right? So that's really quick when traditional drug development takes around at least 10 years to go from bench to bedside. So it's not quite apples to apples, but the idea that we can quickly move and keep helping other patients is something that's inspiring. The nice thing is that we've built the infrastructure for the first patient, my brother, which then helps all the other subsequent patients that come along. So hopefully we can pick up some time, and instead of taking 2 to 3 years, maybe we can take closer to 2 or so. But we'll see, right? We want to make sure to go cautiously and judiciously forward.
What do you think is going to happen, or what are your hopes that happens in 2021?
Oh, it's a good question. So I hope, first of all, I hope 2021 is better than 2020. But I would say that I'm anticipating dosing our first patient, Terry, with this first-in-man CRISPR therapeutic. And also, if we can, if we're able to dose our sort of second patients, our second cohort, that would be great as well. Maybe it's late 2021 or early 2022, but at the very least, we'll dose our first patient, which is really exciting.
It's incredible, and I'm so proud to see the progress over the last 12 months. But this is a particular. People have an opportunity right now to help out, because people can donate all the time to your organization. However, if they donate on Giving Tuesday, their donations will be matched, so they can have double the impact. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. There's a couple opportunities to get matched. The first is a couple generous donors have agreed to match donations up to $70,000. And so, for every dollar you put in, that's automatically $2. Now, if you donate on Facebook, that's matched as well. And so, it's a real nice opportunity for people to have a significant impact with their donation on Giving Tuesday, especially as we come into the end of 2020.
Yeah, I think Facebook is matching up to $7 million in donations. And I believe that it starts at 8 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. So if you go on and start donating, your donation can have a huge impact. And how have donations been affected this year during COVID? Have you been able to have your regular fundraisers, or what's been going on there?
No, unfortunately, not to the degree that we would have liked to have, right? So as COVID broke out in March, a number of our in-person events got canceled. We were able to do a couple outside events, socially distanced and following all the state and federal guidelines, but it's been a challenge. It's a challenge to, at least for us as a nonprofit. All this money is grassroots. This is ones and fives, us collecting pennies, nickels, and dimes up the Mass Turnpike, and so things like that matter, right? This isn't sort of an organization where you're not sure what your impact is, or you're not sure where the money goes. We're very transparent about where the capital goes and what the impact is. I think as a donor, as an individual who's looking to make a difference, you want to be assured that this is a good use of your money. And so absolutely encourage people to hop on Facebook at 8 a.m. Eastern and make those donations. It does make a big difference. And Max and Terry are just two examples, but we've got a number of other boys and young men who are part of this program that otherwise don't have treatment. And so we really see ourselves as an organization where we sort of fill in the gaps of what traditional drug development is left behind. And so I hope people will reach out and visit the website.
Yes, please visit the website, curerareDisease.org. And, I've been going on Facebook and LinkedIn, and there's, so many young boys that you're featuring, and young people that are suffering from, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And, to me, it's heartbreaking, but at the same time, encouraging that these families have true hope. So on behalf of all the families and all the patients and everybody that has been affected by Duchenne muscular dystrophy and other rare diseases, I thank you so much for all the work that you're doing, Rich, to help make a difference in this world.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's I'm fortunate that I got to speak for the team, but it's really a function of our families who are working hard, our researchers who don't take Christmas and Thanksgiving off. They just keep going. It's really a great team, and everyone's very incentivized to push not for publications or profit, but rather just treating patients, which is what it ultimately should be. So very proud of the team and working with you as well. It's a wonderful community we've built here, and really amazing people that have come together to help advance this.
And you are making advancements. So we will check back in with you in the not too soon future, maybe like early 2021. I want to hear what's going on. We're going to keep in touch, and you have a safe holiday season.
Thank you so much. Have a happy holiday, Pat.